What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Little Scale Cars YouTube channel. Today in the review box we have the Hyundai RN22e. This is a concept car from Hyundai, released unveiled I guess a few years back, but we now have it in 1/64th scale. So is it going to be worth adding to your collections? Let's find out. So let's go ahead and get things started with our casting. So first off, this is a metal on metal kind of deal, as you would expect with MiniGT. Give you a little quick turnaround here. Go ahead and pop the real life car up in the corner there so you can kind of get sort of a comparison shot between the real life car, and then we'll do a little like side view presentation so you can see that it is, for the most part, pretty proportional to the real life car. Nothing really to complain about there, and you would pretty much expect that from a MiniGT. Now, when we break the casting down, like I said, that is metal on metal, so the base here is metal. However, this bumper section, starting with right here, and incorporating this whole front splitter section, and then back over to here on this side, this bottom skirt down here, and then this bit right here, and that bit right there, that is all going to be plastic. Mirrors are going to be plastic, and then the rear wing also going to be plastic. Not really too surprising there. When we look at our overall body lines, everything is pretty accurate. You've got this kind of swoop thingy right here, doors where you'd want them to be. No kind of handles in the back doors here. I'm guessing that's like that on the real car as well. Diffuser casted in very nicely back here. Up front, lots of meshing up front here in the grille section. Very, very nicely done. Headlights are just a little thin strip of plastic kind of sitting on that duct there. So overall, casting done fairly nicely. For the paint and deco, we just have this kind of presentation look, which is just kind of got the RN22e and the N logos on it. Nothing too crazy. Kind of a matte blue within a matte blue, slightly darker shade, a stripe going down the center here. Nothing too crazy or wild. A bit of some accents here with the red stripe and the silver, not really silver, more like gunmetal gray colorations going on here. Overall, we're matching the real life car pretty closely. At this time, we have not had any kind of confirmation of a redeco of anything or anything like that, but you never know. So for our details, so starting up front, we do have these plastic little things that go over kind of a hole in the body here. So there's an empty cavern right here behind this headlight, and then this thin little plastic bit is just kind of very delicately glued on here. I know this because when I got this one over here was actually glued way over here. So I just saw the empty abyss of this kind of pocket, and I basically had to fill this in with clay and then glue that back on there. So very annoying there. But we do get a Hyundai logo there, and then the big N in the grille, making us basically a fully detailed front here. Coming down to the sides, we do have accurate wheels, which is very, very nice. I believe it says RN22 down here. It's kind of hard to see. And then we have the N logo here. Very, very nice once again. Making our way to the rear section. You get a little RN22 logo there. The very nicely detailed taillights. Extra little bits of light. The red strips looking good. Another Hyundai logo tucked up here underneath the wing. Kind of hard to see. And then when you actually look in the interior bits, you can see that there is some like roll cage work going on or something in there. Overall, from what you can see of the interior, it is very clearly got some nice details to it. So moving into our roll test, this one does roll, as any good MiniGT should. When we put this one on the scale, it comes out to be 43.26 grams. So given the size and the fact that it's a metal body on a metal base, that's actually a little bit low. And I definitely think that that kind of shows that there is a hefty amount of plastic incorporated into this one, even if that doesn't really affect the overall look. All right, pros and cons time. First big pro is, as of right now, this is the only way to add a Hyundai RN22e to your collection, so that's pretty cool. Likely going to be the only way, too, as I really don't see any other brands doing this car. It was kind of an obscure concept car that didn't turn as many heads as Vision 74 car did, so it's whatever. The other big pro is the casting overall is going to be good. It's accurate, and it's fun. I really like the car and the overall look of it. I thought it was better than the N Vision, but that's just me. When we come to the cons, though, there's definitely a few we need to talk about. So, much like the Envision 74 that we just reviewed, this one is a Hyundai shop exclusive, which means that if you want it, be prepared to pay out the wazoo. So, by the time it gets shipped to you, it's probably going to run you close to 50 bucks, possibly even more. So, yeah, huge downside there. The other big downside that I would say, big con, is the quality control. So, I did mention that my headlight was actually glued over here, so that was super uncool. And then if you look, you've probably already noticed I have a droopy headlight. Now, normally with a droopy headlight, you hit this up with a heat gun, or not a heat gun, a hairdryer, and it'll kind of raise to its normal spot. I've tried that several times with this one. I cannot get it to go back, so that is kind of a shame that it is that way. And here for some size comparisons, we have it with some Hot Wheels, some Kias actually, some other South Korean cars. We have the Kia Stinger over there on the left, and the Kia EV6 all-new casting for 2025 over there on the right. And here we have it with some other MiniGT Hyundais that you might have, with the Elantra N over there on the left, and the Envision 74, which we just reviewed, over here on the right. So now, let's find an overall score. The hype level for this one, I can only give it a 9.2. I would probably only give it a 9, honestly, because the community as a whole, not nearly as hyped for this one as the Envision. But me personally, I like this one a little bit better, so I had a little more hype. Execution, I can only give this one a 6. So again, just like with the Envision, the Hyundai shop exclusive was a horrendous idea. I'm sure it was Hyundai's idea, and I'm sure that maybe we would not have even gotten these. But regardless, I don't like it. I hate that, and it makes these things become extraordinarily overpriced. And then on top of that, this one had quality control issues, so it can only be given a 6. Feedback, I'm going to give it a 9.5. It does seem that most of the people that have picked this one up have been happy. Again, though, this one seems to be plagued by QC issues compared to the Envision, at least, as I have seen other people with droopy mirrors or wings that are slightly tilted or some other poor quality control issue. When we take these three scores, add them up, and average them out, we are left with an 8.23 out of 10, which means that this is another very, very nice model that should have a much higher score, but because of poor execution, it's not going to be. And that execution does, majority of the way, boil down to how it was released and being a Hyundai shop exclusive, which makes it ridiculously expensive. We've been over all this in the last video. If you really want a full breakdown of the situation, just go watch that one. But if this one were to ever get another re-release or a standard release in a different deco or something, I think that one would definitely be worth picking up. But with this one currently being only a Hyundai shop exclusive, it's just simply not worth your money. Alrighty guys, that will wrap up this review. I hope you have enjoyed it. Make sure you leave a comment telling me what your thoughts are on this particular model. Don't forget to like, because that really helps me out. And make sure to subscribe if you are new here. And I will see you guys in the next video.